As soon as the elevator door closed, my mother pinched my arm fiercely. The piercing pain made me cry nonstop. Just then, my father's cell phone rang. Dr. Garfield, your daughter Marianne suddenly has a high fever. Please come back quickly. After hanging up the phone, my father looked at my stomach with a heavy face. Marianne can't wait any longer. Arrange a cesarean section as soon as we get to the hospital. As soon as the elevator door opened, Andrew and my father couldn't wait to drag me out. Stop. Suddenly, a hurried sound of footsteps sounded. I looked back and saw Officer Burton standing behind us with a serious face. My hope that had been extinguished was rekindled. Your ID card fell. Officer Burton trotted over and handed my ID card to my mother. Thank you, Officer Burton. My mother thanked him repeatedly, and I tried hard to break free from my bound hands. Mr. Burton. When Officer Burton wanted to leave again, I hurriedly opened my mouth, but halfway through my words, my mouth was tightly covered by Andrew. Miranda, bear with it for a while. We will be at the hospital soon. Then Andrew dragged me to the car. As soon as I was thrown into the car, my mother pinched my arm hard. If you dare to cause trouble for me again, I will never let you go. Andrew rushed all the way and ran through 3 red lights to the hospital. As soon as I arrived at the hospital, I was dragged into the operating room. Looking at the cold operating room, I was scared and wanted to escape, but my mother directly took a shot of tranquilizer and injected it into my body. We just took a child from your belly. I don't know why you reacted so strongly. We are all family and you saved your own sister. A wave of tranquilizer entered my body, and I just felt that my body gradually became lighter. In order to avoid damaging the baby in my belly, my mother used a small dose, and my consciousness was still somewhat clear. Tie the person to the operating table and perform the operation yourself. Andrew and my father immediately moved me to the operating table. You're breaking the law by doing this. Do you know? I shouted in despair, but my mother looked at me and snorted. You are my daughter. Is there any problem with me helping you with the operation? I gave you your life. My father rolled his eyes at me. You are an ungrateful person. We raised you up just to ask you to save your own sister. What are you telling us is illegal? Andrew tied my hands on the operating table tighter. I could feel the rope digging into my wrists. Andrew, please sign it quickly. I will start the operation soon. Mom handed a consent form to Andrew. Andrew signed his name on the consent form without even looking at it. I looked at the people who were called family members and my heart was shattered. Andrew, do you want to go out first? It might be a little bloody later. Mom looked at Andrew with a scalpel, but Andrew shook his head. No, I have to see Marianne's medicine being taken out with my own eyes before I can feel at ease. Andrew's words were like needles piercing my heart. In his eyes, I and the child in my belly were just a medicine. Because this operation was performed privately, there was no anesthesiologist. My mother took the knife and cut my stomach, directly cutting it open. For a moment, I felt as if my bones were broken. I could clearly feel that my stomach was cut open, alive, layer by layer. The whole operating room was filled with my heart-wrenching screams, but no one wiped my sweat or frowned. No one even looked at me. You will be punished. I gritted my teeth and made a sound with difficulty. Andrew was about to scold me, but the next second I heard my mother shouting, "It's out. The baby is out." Before the joyful voice sounded, I heard my mother's terrified voice. Why is the child dead?